spend the fiscal impact of COVID, about 19 billion cedis to respond to COVID. And we did not necessarily charge the Ghanaian for it. We had to borrow, we had to take money from the Bank of Ghana to deal with the COVID pandemic. That's why today articles are being published around the world commending Ghana as one of the best response countries. But that 19 billion cedis has to be paid for at some point. The liabilities we have incurred has to be paid for. COVID expenses are going to be with us at least for the medium term.
Does the 19 billion include the free water and electricity?
It does. It's part of COVID-related expenses.
No, but you gave us that one hand and you're taking it back the other hand.
No, we were in the midst of a crisis and government had to front load.
You said it was free.
But it's free to you. It wasn't free to the treasury. It wasn't free to the treasury.
I'm lost here.
No, so when we say free electricity, it doesn't mean that the IPP producer is also going to say, because the president has said free electricity, I won't charge the country for it.
The government will have to pay.
The government will have to pay.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you are now in 2021.
Yes.
You now want us to pay for it.
I'm saying the government, for example, had to borrow money, the fiscal impact about 19 billion, to make all of those expenses happen. And in addition to that, there are going to be expenses in the medium term because of COVID. The government is asking a question. Can we continue to accommodate this COVID black hole in this already widening gap of our finances? Or do we have to introduce a revenue handle that can take care of it? And the government comes to a view that, with the greatest of respect, can we take 1% VAT to pay for that, so that COVID does not become an ever-burdening expenditure item for us?
Yeah, but you made a choice to give us free water and electricity. You've extended it, and it served you well in the politics of the day.
Because government
won the election.
Because governments make
only
choices.
down to come and tell us to pay for it.
No, because governments make choices on behalf of their people. If we are at war, and the government has to make a decision that we have to procure A, B, C, D, E, F, G to go to war and win that war, and does not necessarily tax the population for it today, and mobilizes for us.
But the free was populist then.
I'm coming to mobilize and come together and achieve it. It is well in order for the government, when we have won the war, or we are on a clear path to winning the war, to say, this has been the cost.
So it wasn't free then?
It was free to the people of Ghana at the time.
But now we are paying for it.
Treasury, we have to now begin to close.
You just delayed the payment. So it wasn't free. You should have told us that.
Well, no, because
down the line you pay for this.
No, because everything we consume in this country is paid for.
Right. Ghanaian politicians, you're never straightforward with the people, the voters. That's the problem. That's why Kojo, Oppong, you're struggling. You're struggling. You know, when you spoke about nuisance taxes and you kind of lambast taxation and all that, you find yourself in a situation whereby government can never run a country without a proper tax regime system in place. So, in principle, I'm not against finding a way to recoup that money that was used for something that was an emergency, right? But 19 billion, can we have a breakdown, please? Because Ghana politicians there, Charlie, Okacha was 19 billion, probably is about 10 billion, or maybe 12, 13, 14 billion. But we need a breakdown, you know. And you ask yourself that, was the free water and electricity, was it the best way of kind of helping the people through that period? I mean, I thought Ghana, we have a system in place where by everybody who paid tax has got a TIN number. Couldn't we find a more effective way of having a sort of scheme in place like a fair loan, that people who pay taxes are reimbursed with some amount monthly to take care of their needs, you know, so that you know exactly how much government is directly giving to the people. So this 19 billion, where did it go? I mean, we need some breakdown here. That's what I say. We need some breakdown here. But like I'm saying, in principle, I'm not against a well-structured tax policy to provide excellent um, public and social services, you know, including welfare to the underprivileged and disadvantaged in society. But politicians must be upfront. Your economic and your political philosophy has to be well known. And if you plan it well, the people will understand. There has to be a well structured tax system in place. And the tax network has to be widened as well. So that if you are taxing the people and providing excellent public and social services, and the underprivileged has got a sort of welfare net to find some comfort in times of need, then people will not be too much concerned when they are paying their taxes because they know that the rubbish will be collected, the streets will be clean, the street lights will be there, the roads will be well done, the structures, the hospitals, the healthcare system will provide for their needs. If all these things are in place properly and people are not complaining, then they don't mind paying taxes. But when people pay so much taxes and they don't see the results of it, now you're telling them you have a big hole of 19 billion. Can you give us a breakdown? Kojo, I think Evans was very nice to you. When you'll be to say me, you won't be sweating, you'll be sweating pepper. You won't be sweating ordinary sweat because you need a breakdown. One minute you seem to be against taxation, excessive taxation. The next minute you don't find the money and you're saying that it has to be paid for. So, yes, it has to be paid for. In times of emergency, when these things are done, it has to be paid for. You take the money from somewhere, you have to recoup the money and put it there for emergency use again. That's okay. I have no problem with that. But the money that you say that you spend, that's what I want to break down. The people must demand accountability. I say, my people know exactly what you're saying is exactly what it is. You know. Anyway, this is a problem we have, and it is because corruption without prosecutions around the corridors of power. It is the number one concern of the Ghanaian voters, and it hasn't been dealt with. The last 4 years, MPP couldn't deal with it. We hope this second term, the MPP administration will make corruption around the political corridors of power their number one or one of their topmost priority. Corruption alone takes more than the 19 billion you're looking for. It takes more than the 19 billion. It took more than the 19 billion in the last 4 years that you claim there is a big black hole. Corruption has created a gargantuan black hole in our public finances. It needs to be dealt with. That's your brother YK. I'm gonna come your way again. Until then, don't forget to say a prayer with every heartbeat. God bless.